I was equipped. I was ready to just regurgitate everything that I'd taken in. I had pamphlets, I had all of it. And I'm sitting there and I'm ready. And this girl walks up to me, been part of our ministry the year before. She walks up and first thing out of her mouth, tears starting to form in her eyes. Ow, my dad has cancer. Years ago, I had the privilege to go to an Answers in Genesis conference that happened here in Colorado Springs at the Pikes Peak Center. And it was phenomenal. I mean, just really, really well done. And I was in college ministry at the time. I was working at Colorado College downtown. And man, I walked out of there pumped. Like everything I wanted to talk about. I mean, I'm listening to Ken Ham, the founder of Answers in Genesis. I'm listening to John MacArthur came in and spoke. It was just a phenomenal conference. And I walked out and I was in cage fighter creationist mode, right? I was ready to, Ross talked about fighting in the parking lot. I was there. I was like, let's go. I'm right here. Non-literal 24-hour day person. And I don't know if I actually said that. That's a little bit wordy. But what I did do is I was just ready to defend it. And it's all I wanted to talk about. I was part of a missions team at a church at that point. And I'm bringing creationism into like the mission team and what we're doing for a fundraiser. Should we sell, snacks at our coffee bar to raise money for missions? Well, that's a great question. You know what a better one is? Did God create the world in 6 days, literally? And people were like, okay, this is good stuff, but take it easy, just a little bit, right? Let's just talk about something else. I was on it all the time. So like I said, I was at Colorado College. They always started on Labor Day. So Labor Day, I was there, first meeting going on. I was equipped. I was ready to just regurgitate everything that I'd taken in. I had pamphlets, I had all of it. And I'm sitting there and I'm ready. And this girl walks up to me, been part of our ministry the year before. She walks up and first thing out of her mouth, tears starting to form in her eyes. Ow, my dad has cancer. He's just diagnosed. What do I do? And at 19 years of age, she realized she had no control over her world, maybe for the first time. And all my planning for the creationist agenda that I had set up was pushed to the side in light of coming next to that young lady as she realized her world was falling apart. Now, I tell you that not to imply that what we're going to talk about today is unimportant. I don't mean that by any means. All Scripture is God-breathed. It's all important. But we sometimes miss the forest for the trees. We sometimes forget what the purpose is as a whole, and remembering that there is a macro message attached to Scripture as a whole. And each element, each narrative, each story in Scripture leads back to that main idea that Scripture captures. And the importance of all of it working together as a broad umbrella. That's what I'm talking about today. We can so zero in on a doctrine or a theology or a passion, and we forget the big picture lesson that God is trying to teach us. We can miss everything that's reinforced in Scripture for the sake of fighting for what we believe in. And I'm not saying again that some things are not worth the fight. I'm saying let's remember what the primary things are in that and allow that to spur us on into unity, always remembering that that's the drive of Scripture again and again and again. There is, and I want to say this in the right way, strong opinions attached to Genesis and specifically the creation account, and appropriately so, right? We should be passionate about what we say we believe and what we understand about God, but never, and I want to emphasize this, never to take away from the unity that we should have as followers of Jesus, right? I know individuals personally that do not believe in a literal 24-hour day, And they are no less Christian because of that. And I tell you that because not that I agree with that by any means, or agree with other theories that are out there. And we're going to talk about some of those today. But it's for the sake of unity. I can separate those things that should be secondary issues or potentially tertiary, third-level issues, and remembering the primary issues as of the most importance. Those things that matter the most. And specifically, as we come back to it again and again and again, and we do every week, the gospel being the center of all of it, right? I literally wrapped up, this was the crazy thing. So as I literally wrapped up what you're going to hear next, Pastors Austin and David knocked on my door. And they were like, hey, have you heard about Charlie Kirk? And I was like, no, I've been sermon writing all day. I just haven't heard anything. And they told me, and my heart felt so heavy. And I felt broken. And then I read this. Your heart might be broken today. Your world might be crashing down today. Take heart and know that the God who was powerful enough to create stars, oceans, and life itself is the same God at work in the world today. In speaking about his imminent crucifixion, Jesus told his disciples this. In John 16:33, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. But take heart, I have overcome the world. The only one who could make a promise like that is the one powerful enough to have created it in the first place. Jesus is your hope and salvation. He was in the beginning, he is today, and he will fulfill his promises in the future. Jesus is our promised land. We are blessed through him. Are the times scary? They sure can be. Are your struggles real? I'm sure they are, but even in the realness, you are not without hope. In the midst of the chaos, God is right here. And he is still sovereign. His power is not limited. His purpose is not preventable. He is close to our broken hearts. He will save our crushed spirits. He will never abandon us or forsake us. He is with us, walking through the grief with us. He is holding our bruised and hurting souls. And though it is hard to understand his purposes right now, he assures us in Scripture that he is working all things out for our good and for his glory. Beloved, we can trust him. And then I got the knock on the door. God gave that to us, because we need this right now. We don't have the capacity to deal with all of this stuff on our own. And if you call yourself a follower of Jesus today, I encourage you, run to the only hope you have in this crazy world, because everything else is temporary. Everything else in this world is chaotic or has the potential for chaos. He is the only one who is sure and true and never changes. And it's in his sovereignty and his goodness that we step forward, knowing we can cling to him. And he is a steady anchor in times like this.